here.
Hey.
Blessings, everybody. Hello and welcome. Thank you all for being alive today. I am very excited to have on the show today on the Dasha Love channel the incredible, magnificent powerhouse by the human name Natasha. But of course, she's going to tell you about her other given name. But she has come to us to bless us with knowledge, wisdom, and to transmute to us this powerful energy which she harnesses through her words. I welcome you all to open your heart, to listen with not just your ears, but to listen with your whole body. Let the energy be transmuted that is beyond the physical in the metaphysical world. Let that energy be transmuted to your heart, to your body, because just by listening to this conversation, you are healing. And when you heal the world. So I welcome you guys to the show. Here, thank you. Thank you. And just before we dive into it, if it's okay with you or if you want to add anything, I just want to quickly pray for what's going on. And I'll just say a few words, and if you have a few words to say, you're welcome as well. I just wanted to pray for all those who are affected by COVID. I want to transfer to you a state of vitality to elevate the vibrations. I want to pray for all those in the front line, in the hospitals, outside, for the police that are helping out every day right now, putting in endless hours for the people in the stores, putting in all of this time right now, helping all of these people that are affected and people that are not affected. I want to pray for all those people that are making a difference right now. Thank you. And for all those that are watching us who are in fear, we want to transmute to you the feeling of peace and love, and to help you realize that by elevating your own vibrational state, by finding a way to feel better yourself, you are changing the world. By healing yourself, you heal the world. So, Natasha, if you want to say a few words about it, or it's up to you, or we can just dive right into it.
I want to invite people to get into their bodies. So guys, take a deep breath and feel your body and your skin as a boundary between external world and your internal system. And feel your body as a safe heaven. It's your home and it's with you. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's been with you for many years and it will be with you hopefully for many years to come. Right? And you might have a difficult relationship. It's always normal in a household. You might have a perfect relationship. Just feel in your body, maybe touching yourself, scratching, patting, whatever touch you prefer, whatever way you touch your body, your head or to your knees, anything. Right? And keep breathing. Keep breathing. Okay. And feel how good it is to be at home in your body with all the difficulties, all the noises. It actually feels good to be alive. Yeah. And with that thought and with that feeling, take another deep breath and let's go into conversation.
Woo, that feels so good. I got goosebumps.
Hello, sweetheart.
Hello. This is why I love you so much. Oh my goodness. So today we are diving in deep into a holistic approach to healing that I began on the path 5 years ago. And Natasha, the practitioner, has begun many, many, many more years ago. And she went to Peru and she studied and she did the work and she took off all the masks and she let go. So I welcome Natasha to the show to talk about the amazing, magnificent power of this incredible healing medicine called ayahuasca. Thank you, Natasha.
Okay.
I'm so excited that you're here. So before we dive into it, do you want to give us a little bit of a backdrop story to how you even discovered it? Because the moment I met you, I remember is you look like an ordinary woman, and suddenly we strike a conversation in Russian, and I'm like, oh, or great ordinary woman. And after the Tantra event, all of a sudden you tell me you have been to Peru for 15 months studying and understanding ayahuasca. And I was like, what? You don't look like a shaman to me.
Which is very handy when crossing a border between Peru and United States, because nobody would suspect. So today's conversation, I really feel a need and want to make it lighthearted, almost like a fun conversation. Because lately we were having so much tense and dramatic, and rightfully so dramatic, energies around us that shaking it off, right? Especially that we're talking about medicine, and sometimes medicine comes really strong and, like this strong and you better know what you're doing kind of mother, right? And sometimes she's just, medicine of laughter and joy and that. So I feel that now this joyful side of medicine has to be connected to and woken. So
how did you know? This is already how I've been feeling for the last 6 months.
Yeah. That's what the training is about, connecting to people and feeling their energies. Yes. Yeah. So who am I and how I ended up doing what I'm doing, right? Yeah. So absolutely normal, middle-class, ordinary Russian immigrant in the United States, working in high tech for many years, and at the same time having what we call now spiritual interest or self-development, personal development interests since very early age, right? So living in Silicon Valley, I was doing my Silicon Valley stuff, working in tech companies, and I was also doing my spiritual stuff. And in this country, in this part of the world, shamanism, it's very present, right? Even if it's in a form of neo-shamanism. Right? So I connected to that. I was exploring neo-shamanism, this and that. And then back in 2010, I had my first connection with ayahuasca. So it's not such a long time ago. I'm not the longest, not practitioner with kind of the longest learning path. It just so happened that I took such a deep dive in. So basically in 2013. In 2013, I quit my job, I quit everything, and I went to the jungle. I stayed there for 15 months. And since then, I'm going to Peru every year. It's at least 1 month. Usually it's 3, 4, 5 months every year. Yeah. So it was just such a major change of lifestyle, and making this a priority that's actually contributed to me developing pretty fast into professional, because it takes years and years to become kind of a real thing. Yeah.
So how did you take that leap of faith, that jump, or did the jump take you to transform your life completely? And what was the last straw that was like, you know what, this is time. I can no longer live the same lifestyle that I was living. This is time. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to change everything. I'm leaving. Goodbye to my old tech job.
Yeah, it was a kind of classic by the book, in anthropology books, when they talk about shamanic initiations, that spirits has to call you, and then you find your teacher, and it looks so amazing when you read it. In real life, it's a bloody mess. Literally, your life is falling apart.
Yes.
You have no good explanation for what's going on, and it's literally falling apart. And then moving to the jungle, it's really, I tried pretty much everything before I moved to the jungle. Like every healing, fix myself modality available here, I tried it, didn't work. And at the same, so that's one part of it. Like you're falling apart, and you have to, like, it's almost like something is steering you in a certain direction, because that's the only direction that kind of makes sense. Though it doesn't make sense to the rest of the world. To the rest of the world, it's total insanity. Like she lost it. She totally lost it. She's just doing something crazy. But intuitively, and that's when you begin to trust your intuition, like really deeply trust your intuition. Oh, that way. I need to go that way. I have no story. I have no narrative. Why is it good? I can create some. I really don't. But intuition tells me move this way, right? So that's how it happens. And another side of it is our infamous Eastern European practicality. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's not just Eastern European, but it's this like very deep seated practicality that no, I'm not going to be distracted by beautiful stories, spiritual stories. I have those daily check-ins, maybe not daily, but regular check-ins, like what I'm doing, is it working or not? Like, be brutally honest with yourself. Is it working or not? Or are you just fooling yourself? Right.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I teach through daily rituals, because it's a reprogramming. It's a reprogramming of the self, and I've been doing daily rituals for the last over 4 years, and that is how you change, and you recognize your own change. Yeah. You check in every single morning to see where you are and where you want to go. It's a vibration mastery. To learn how to master your vibrations, master your emotions, takes daily repetition, like anything in life that you want to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, I think in general, this practice of being honest with yourself, it's a super powerful practice. Like alone with yourself, I don't have to pretend. I don't have to worry about social interfaces. It's like, okay, baby, what's really going on with you? Let's see. I find it super powerful practice.
Yes. It's like, how do you really feel today? Because it's okay to feel. You know, we are the universe of emotions. We are
Oh, yeah, sweetie, it's got frozen.
The live Facebook. Run, it's gonna.
Hello. 1, 2, 3. Sweetie, if you can hear me, our connection again playing tricks on us. It's good. Okay, so then I'm going to be reading your lips because I don't hear you. Okay. Then
Here you go. I was on mute. I'm sorry. Hello.
Okay, great. Now I can hear you.
So sorry, guys. I don't know how long that was, but what I was saying earlier is that we are all the vibrations all at the same time on the vibrational scale. Every single second, we can be in anger, and the next in happiness, and the next in fear, and the next in bliss. And that's okay. This is what it means to be alive, is to realize that we are all these emotions, and we don't push any of them away, because that's part of being human. This is why we came here. And that's why when you go and do a psychedelic experience, you start to begin to understand what are these things that are holding you in these lower vibrational states. And Natasha, you can explain it in the way that you see fit, but the way that I see it is basically what's buried deep within the subconscious mind, the things that I was not aware of, come to the surface so I can deal with them. So I can recognize what's holding me from my truth, from my love, from the abundance that I wish to be, from anything that I've ever wanted to manifest. Basically, it comes to the surface. Some things that take 10 years, 20 years for meditators and other different modalities. What ayahuasca does is make you understand them faster, deal with them, come to the realizations of who you truly are in a much faster way than anything else that I've ever experienced.
Yeah. So to speak about it a little bit more systematically, it's emotional field. It's a huge field, big ocean. So I prefer to go there with a little bit of system, because it's easy to dive and stay there forever. So to talk about it a little bit systematically, so with medicine, there are different kinds of work that we can do. One of them is, connecting to those deeper layer of emotions, and normalizing certain emotions, certain human experiences. I would put it even broader, right? So, and this kind of work, it's better done combined with some integration, psychology, life coaching, something that you do in a sober state, even before you go to the ceremony, normalizing anger, normalizing aggression, right? Everything which is taboo or semi-taboo emotion, building a relationship with that. Like, what's going on in my system when I feel that, and why I'm reacting this way, and how react in a way which is not threatening for people around me. How not to destroy relationships and feel what is there, right? And in my opinion, it's better to start this work in a sober state with life coaches, psychologists, any self-development, self-help groups. And then coming to the ceremony, you have a chance to go much deeper, because you are not going to be stuck. Classic example, somebody's coming with intention to experience unconditional love. Beautiful intention. And then the whole night, person is stuck processing some unresolved issues with the father. Right? So how you interpret this experience, how you make meaning, that ability to experience unconditional love is blocked by certain unprocessed relationship issues. So it's basically straight road into integration practice. Go and deal with your daddy issues. Because you cannot go deeper. You cannot recognize and connect with that part of you which is love, because there is a big part of you which is not love.
Right.
It's anger.
Right.
Somebody told me that joy is the mother of all emotions, and she will not come until all her children are welcomed.
I love that. Yes. That's the way I interpret it. Yes. That's what we do when I start coaching with people, is I help them bring their own stories forward about their childhood, about their mom, about their dad, and then begin to see them in a brand new light, realizing that their mom did her best because that was the hand that she was dealt. Because the only people we know how to operate from, the only way we know how to be, is based on our own past experience from our own parents. And most people are not conscious to unconditional love, to unconditional loving. So they don't know this. So this is why they pass it along. Our parents pass along their unhealed childhood wounds onto us without even knowing them. And this is what happens. This is the cycle. So when you start the cycle and you're like, I want to be the change. I want to feel the love. I want to be resonance for all there is. I want to feel abundance. I want to be patient. I don't want to be angry. Oh, wait a minute. This anger is not me. This anger is what separates me from love. This is what was given to me from my mom, my dad.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware that I have been my whole life unconsciously projecting this anger on other people because they disagreed with me. Because I felt like I wasn't good enough, but it had nothing to do with me because everyone is always just doing their best. So before we go into the ceremony, we find these stories, these layers that are deep layers from childhood, this anger, we rewrite them. So then when you go to the ceremony, you are ready to experience true joy because you're none of these layers, like Natasha said, are holding you back and you don't have things to process. You can go directly to love, directly to your source power, directly feel what you truly are, which is not this body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, this whole path of normalizing your own humanity and understanding your own humanity, how broad it is, how colorful it is. It's not just a good girl or a mean girl or a popular girl, right? It's none of those archetypes. It's actually much more than that, right? And normalizing it in your system, it opens the door for deeper and deeper experiences.
Yes.
Right? And at a certain point, the actual content of the experience, I had a good ceremony, I had a bad ceremony, I had a tough ceremony, good and bad, this duality, it kind of vanishes.
Right.
I had an experience. That's it.
Nothing is either good or bad. We assign to it meaning, but a meaning is being assigned by thought. So we give it form. When in reality, everything is just part of experience. Just like a state of vitality, a state of sickness, it is just a part of human nature. We assign to it if it's good or bad. And based on what we assign to it, that's where our energy goes. And when our energy goes there, our thoughts go there, we are already there. So when we think that something is bad, it is already bad for us. If we are thinking right now that with COVID, things are getting worse and worse, then things are already worse in our head. Hence, they are worse in our entire body. Hence, we're not going to make wiser decisions when it comes to our food, when it comes to the things that we are doing, because we are already at the state of things are bad. So they are bad for us.
Yeah. At the same time, I often see what's happening, especially people who practice in kind of contemporary spiritual practices, these new age spiritual practices. What happens to this pretense? Let's pretend that we are already enlightened human beings. Except that let's pretend part is kind of taken away. So, we are already enlightened human beings, which is true. But until I own it, until I really feel it, until I made all this like shadowy passes through what is not enlightened, what is actually angry, what is actually revengeful, what is fearful, and so on and so forth, all those shadow alleys, then it becomes a pretense. And it's one of the worst cases in ceremonial scenario when somebody who's so attached to I'm only light and only good vibes are welcome, and people live like that, and actually they live like that, but then they go into ceremony and that unconscious layer opens up, and it easily could become.
No. And they're like, no.
Yes. It's very traumatizing. It's very traumatizing, and I structure my work in a way that people don't go through such, ups and downs. Sometimes it's necessarily, medicine is a spirit, and you can negotiate with her, but you cannot tell her what to do.
But creating this container of understanding of what we are and what may happen before you go. Of course, there's a lot of surprises, but when you understand the spectrum of yourself and you anticipate and you are ready for what's coming because you know that this is just for you and this is just the right time, then you are open to receiving so much more than being in resistance to facing shadows, to facing darkness. If you know that is part of human nature and this too shall pass, then you go into the medicine with this open container for transformation, knowing that whatever comes is for you and there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Thank you for rephrasing it so well. Yeah.
I've been writing about this for 4.5 years every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another part, or another, getting back to structure, another aspect working with medicine is it's probably even bigger than this therapeutic side. The part is that actually she's a spirit. I mean, living in Silicon Valley and like, wow, there is a living spirit here among us. And developing skills how to actually connect to the spirit. Right? We know how to connect to internet. To some extent, we know how to connect to each other. Right? How you connect to the spirit, how you connect to the subtle reality. Because yes, you can use medicine as a tool to explore your subconscious and this whole stack of conscious, subconscious, all this whole psychological complexity. But still, you are in your own world, right? In your psyche. There is a way to get beyond your psyche, and that's a beautiful thing. And connecting to the subtle reality, to the spirits. And that's another amazing, amazing gift of the medicine.
Yes. It's like learning to trust in this divine power, in your connection to source, which is always all-knowing, and learning to trust this intuitive guidance. Sometimes the voice is quiet and sometimes it gets too loud, and in that case people get sickness, where you can no longer ignore the calling anymore, that something in your life needs to change.
Yeah, it's like you feeling something is happening with the world, and the way I used to be a year ago, 5 years ago, it doesn't fit anymore, right? I need upgrade, I need a version upgrade, or I need a redesign. The world is changing, I'm not, or I'm changing in a different direction.
Yes.
It doesn't make me wrong that I've done something 5 years ago and I became like this. No, it was perfectly working. It was the best available strategy. Like, I'm a champion. But then as we are changing and the world is changing, we constantly have to be in this connection and feeling like, okay, are we in alignment? So having this alignment in skills to feel this alignment with your environment, with people you love, with people who are around you, with the world with the global world.
Yes. It's the sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Like a relatedness, like I am here and now and I matter. And finding this love which we seek on in external things, deep inside, knowing that Mother Gaia, mother of us all, our mom, really has unconditional love for us. And we don't need to do anything for that love. And we don't need to please anyone for that love, but to just be the best version of ourselves, whatever that means for us, as we express ourselves to the fullest of our ability. To feel this connection always, and to know that when we are speaking from heart, from truth, from wisdom, then that is the right thing, no matter what anybody else says or does. Being independent from other people and their approval in our own approval. Feeling the love, the resonance, not because of a certain amount of money in our bank account, but because this is what we deserve and this is why we came here. That's it.
Do it in a powerful way, when it's not just make-believe. I'm basically the question of power. You brought us to this big question of power. Right? Often we are hiding in this philosophy about oneness and so on and so forth from harsh reality. Give me another globe. I want to live in a world when everyone is loving everyone and there is no aggression, there is no competition, we are supportive, and everyone has enough capacity to connect and to see each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. It's not a reality that we live in.
Correct.
So bridging that gap of like, how can I face world as it is and feel comfortable and feel love? That's a matter of personal power.
Yes. It's becoming the awareness, transcending the suffering, literally transmuting the energy in the air, and that comes with mastery. Transmuting the energy in the air when that energy comes to you with that anger, that all of the struggles, you can only transmute it once you have been there yourself. If you have overcome your pain, your struggles, transformed yourself, transformed your own past, realize the child that's inside of you that needs to be loved, and you see that child and you don't become critical of that child when that child is needy or angry or guilty or shameful. You give love to that child anytime when it needs you. Only then you can relate to others to see which state they are in, and instead of give them back a taste of their own medicine, to be patient with them, literally allowing yourself to be the transparent mirror that you are and not attached to their story, because you go through the story and you realize that your story is the same story as everybody else's. Let others play out their story, holding space, letting people express themselves fully, literally playing out their own story without attaching to it. Always sending love, because this is who you already are.
Interestingly enough, in ceremonial space, this dynamic, it often manifests for practitioners, but also for people who come, for participants. And interesting, this twist that, especially at the beginning, when we just start and energies are not settled and people come with some background, somebody been busy, somebody had a fight at the office, and the stories, and we hold it in our bodies, in our presence. And then it's so easy to pick up on this energy and then start identifying. When I just started running ceremony, I noticed that when there are people who feel insecure or unsure of themselves, first-time drinkers heard some scary stories, and they're sitting and literally like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I would start translating it into the self-doubts. Like, oh, that's what's happening. I'm picking up on something, and I'm creating a story, a narrative around it. Right? So this ability to recognize, hey, that's the energy in the room, and not become reactive on that, either externally getting angry at someone or internally creating some story, which basically is internal aggression.
Yes.
Beat yourself or beat them, right? That's not a pleasant choice. So I think that's the highest form of power when it comes to personal development.
Yeah. And I'm just so happy to be working with you, because you're so powerful.
No,
Resonance does not lie. Resonance is either there and it's instant, or it's not. It's either you're 100% committed into something that you're doing, or you're not. You're not 5%, 10%, 15, 55. You're not even 99. You're either 100 in or you're 0. That is the law of vibration. That is how it is. So integration begins way before the actual ceremony. It begins at the very beginning, starting to realize, what do you really want in life? And then figuring out the stories, changing the stories. Very, 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 very difficult to do. No one said this was going to be easy. If you want to change, you have to do the work. And then you go into the ceremony, and you go into deeper layers, deeper levels of yourself once you've already realized the stories. Because going into ceremony with a higher level of awareness of the stories, of maybe the energies in the room, of the voices that come to you that are not your own, is much more powerful than just coming to ceremony and not even knowing that there may be a shadow side, that there is darkness, not preparing yourself for both darkness and light, which they all exist.
Yeah.
And then the integration afterwards, also super, super, so important, because you get to such a high vibrational state in psychedelics, and a lot of psychedelics, not just ayahuasca. You get to a very high vibrational state, and you come back home usually, and you're bombarded with electronics, other people's negative vibes from people bouncing back and forth, as energy always travels all the time. So you slowly let go of this experience if you don't maintain a daily practice of staying on that level, because you can literally stay at the higher vibrational state if you practice daily, and you let go and you let go and you let go and you let go, and you become more aware and more aware and more aware, and you love yourself, have compassion for yourself, forgive yourself and others a little bit more every day, through every single one interaction at a time, and then slowly you begin to live in this meditative state.
And here is some caveat.
Give me the caveat.
Here's the caveat. It has to be interesting. It has to be sexy. I see in spiritual circles people enacting this good girl, good boy attitude. I have to do it. It's a homework now. Right? And while you're sitting in ceremonies and you're connecting with the layer of your being, which says like big no to social conditioning, homeworks, obligations, like I want to be free, right? To the point when there's something in you screaming, fuck that shit. And then after the ceremony, you go like, okay, and now I have to be a good girl and do this, right? So riding this wave and finding, actually nurturing and developing that part of yourself which wants to be free, and allowing this part to define what practice it wants to do. It kind of a little bit controversial with discipline, because discipline is important, of course, in any practice. But at the same time, we have so many people who are not even connected to that part. It's like, I want it. I want it. It's a different flavor of wanting. You know, there is arrogant wanting, and there is this vitality. I want to live. I want to experience. So connecting to that part and creating your practice from that part and nurturing that part, because that's your vitality. That's where it comes from. And then once it's developed, then it's okay to discipline that part, right? Your little dragon has to be disciplined, trained. Let's put it
Do your meditation every day. Now.
Yeah, but usually we start this part beating yourself up, right? Before even I connect to what I actually really want.
Right.
Like, I don't know, I want to be a good girl. Like, do your meditation. It's a bypassing. Because for people who feel this way in a good girl, good boy, you know, realm, that's when they feel comfortable getting into what you want. Like really what you want. Even if it's not socially acceptable or quite socially acceptable.
This is what I realized for myself. I had finally come home with my previous relationship when people used to criticize me for being so wanting so many more sexual fantasies. And then when I embraced that I love it, and I let go of these past relationships that didn't serve me, and then I lived in a van by myself, and I wasn't sexually active at that time, but I spent all this time alone, like really embracing the fact that this is who I am, and I freaking love it. I fell in love with myself as I continued to write, and I lived in my van, and then boom, I let go. I was happy. And bam, I attracted my dream man, everything I have ever wanted. And now any fantasy that I have is welcome, open, communicate. I'm here for you. I'm going to love you unconditionally, no matter what, because you are perfect the way that you are. And we give each other that freedom, which I've always looked for, but I had to give it to myself first. I had to love this part of me. And now I realize that sexuality for me is a path to enlightenment. And I go there all the time. So I have a DMT experience every time I have some kind of a sexual practice, and it doesn't even always involve sex. Sexual practice is this as well.
Touching, yeah.
anything. Breathing with another person, holding each other's heart, like people call it tantra, whatever you call it. But see, all this time everyone was just like, this is crazy, all of these things are crazy that you're saying. But I had to go into my crazy to find this is my sane.
Yeah.
And the truth is, nothing is wrong and nothing is right. It's just for you to realize what makes you tick, what makes you happy. What is your perfect place of stillness where you're like, oh, I'd rather be here and nowhere else. There's no
there is this Christian story, not just Christian, but especially very, very kind of present in a Christian realm, that fundamentally we are bad, right? This first sin, that's it. Fundamentally we are flawed. There's something wrong with us. And if we live with that belief, then of course we have to keep our shadow in check. Because when that layer opens up, oh my God, that's going to be hell. If I hold that belief about myself, but deep inside, on some deeper layers, which I better not show to other people, I'm bad. Of course, I cannot connect with my wants and needs, because as soon as that part starts talking, I'm in trouble. But if you drop this belief and if you allow yourself to feel that actually I'm good, I might have weird fantasies and needs, right? But at the same time, I'm pretty open to listen to other people, how much of my weirdness they are open to witness, and maybe something I will keep to myself or to my close, you know.
Well, I think we are getting close to our time today. And wow, this is awesome. So wow. So what I wanted to kind of conclude our session today about is to open the container for transformation for all those who are watching, to just begin by asking broader questions. Is there more to this life? Do I really have to stay here where I'm at? Or could I take a jump? Maybe go try or prepare myself to go try something so uncomfortable like ayahuasca. Like some people say, drugs. Could I perhaps open myself up that there is another way to transform? There is a faster way to transform than anything that I had already tried, which hasn't worked for me. Is it possible that it's better, that there's a way to live a better life? How could I let go a little bit more of trying to control? Because this control, this trying to control is making me miserable. How could I let go of the expectations of other people of me and start to listening to myself? What I truly want. Who am I? What makes me happy? Because you see, when we do things that don't make us happy, we are projecting that unhappiness that's within us onto all those we try to please. It's not about the words that we use. It's about the feelings that we transmute through our words. We can say, I love you to somebody, but if we don't truly love them with an open heart, we're transferring to them how we truly feel. We can say, I am happy to somebody, but if we don't truly experience a state of being happy, it's not a feeling, it's a state of being where we accept every part of ourselves, then we're not happy. We're transferring to them how we're feeling inside. So I want to welcome you guys to get in touch with myself or with Natasha through Facebook or website. Natasha, do you have a website also they can check out?
Yeah, I do have a website. I'll give it to you. You'll give it to people. It's a strange Shipibo word which nobody will pick up. Like,
well, you know what? I'm
when
also gonna. I can
it's
also
better
put
have
it.
it in writing.
I can also put it on my website, and because my website is very, very easy. Dasha.love, DASHA.LOVE, and I've got all of my books on there, the meditations, the musics. Check it out and get in touch with us if you are feeling inspired to open up a little more, to transform. If you have any questions about what to do next, how to take this leap, take this jump, to start really living from the inside out and be happier, we are here for you. We've come here to serve, to be of service. And I'm so excited about this conversation today. I feel really high right now. I always feel really high after we talk. And you know that you took me on a journey, right? Multiple times. When I close my eyes, I can't really control it. You took me on so many different places right now, and into so many different emotions.
Good.
I'm great. I'm very, very, very grateful for you for taking the time right now out of your busy, I know how busy you are, out of your busy schedule, and just giving this gift of love, of your wisdom, of the truth, and not holding back.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's an honor. It's an honor to be here to talk and to talk about the medicine. I feel inspired and motivated, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful topic to share with people.
This is what we came here to do, to share the wisdom, to share the knowledge. There is nothing that we hold back. We don't hold anything back. We are open books. What healed us, we share with you. We can only share our own experience. I can only share my own experience. I don't know about you, Natasha. And I can only share what I had done and my story, and pave the path for you to figure out your own story. But, this is what we came here to do, is just to share our own story of transformation.
Yeah.
Any other words of wisdom to our beautiful viewers, Natasha?
Stay joyful, stay healthy, be well, and don't worry. Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Love you guys so much. I'm going to post a link to both our Facebooks below this, and get in touch. There's nothing that's too big or too small. Say hello. If anything, just say hi. You enjoyed the video. We'd really appreciate that. And if you find it useful, share it with your friends so somebody can hear the right words and transform their life, transform their world, and live happy and find their happy. Thank you, Natasha. Have a good day, everybody. Blessings.